So in that respect, oh wow, that's weird. Happy birthday is a waltz. It's in 3. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, everybody. Right? You ever waltz when you sing it? No. But you could. Because it's triple. All right. How are we doing? So a beat is your basic unit of measurement in music. And so when you have a song, you have a series of beats. You put them together. And so the bolero, that, so that 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So that's how you measure the music. Okay? So even though you have a lot of notes, the beat is 1, 2, 3. Beat 1, beat 2, beat 3. Beat 1, beat 2, beat 3. So it's a series of beats that move along horizontally just like the melody does. Okay, monophonic, we talked about the birthday and Gregorian chant. Why? Because it's one melody. Doesn't have anything else. No harmony, no polyphony. There's rhythm, but there's melody. The harmony is implied. But what that means is that it is implied only in the sense that it's possible if you wanted to put harmony underneath it, you could. But when it was written 1,000 years ago, 1,200 years ago, there was no harmony. Homophonic music. Now, someone's singing a melody, and now someone is putting something underneath it. It could be a lute playing a couple of notes. It could be a chord being strummed. Or it could someone just singing an ostinato, or just singing one note underneath it, like a drone kind of a thing. Polyphonic music, that's when you have multiple melodies all occurring at the same time. That's when you have, when I played Sid's Choir, this idea of one melody being sung, and then you add another melody, and then you add another melody. Polyphonic. Okay, we talked about it, but we haven't defined it. Define an octave, please. Define an octave, please. Amy, you started. You talked about it.
It's the piano keys, the A, B, C, D, E, F, G.
Okay.
The G chord.
Okay. Is the bottom note? In other words, start. What scale did you use just then? What was your first note?
A.
A. Okay. And then what's the top note? What would you name there in the octave? This is the key to it. Once you know this, you won't forget it. An octave is the distance between two same named notes. Remember, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, 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 octave, do, do, A. An oct means 8, and like you said, it's 8 notes. The octave is the 8th note, because A, B, C, D, E, F, G is 7. And after the G, it goes back to A, which is 8. Now, that brings us to major and minor scale. And the major scale is do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. And we all smile, because it's a happy kind of sounding scale. Do, a deer, a female deer, re, a something, something, something. I don't know the words to the song, but I surely can sing the melody. Right? And the whole class is smiling. I put the camera on and I went, hey, you're smiling, laughing at Mr. Smith. I'd laugh at me too. Because I'm the world's worst lyricist. I can't remember words. I can't remember the words to songs I wrote. I know the music, but I don't know the words. But a major scale, genuinely, is a happy sounding scale. Composers use the major scale to reinforce a positive emotion in their music. And it's that do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. But when we go to the minor scale, what happens? All of a sudden things get sad, mysterious, spooky. Not so good. That's when the composer wants to like kind of, draw you in a little bit. Things aren't going so well. All of those things, composers use the minor scale. Now, what I don't do on the test, I don't quiz you on why. We don't go into the minor third. I don't go into the minor seventh. We don't talk about harmonic minor versus melodic minor. I don't go into it in that depth. All you need to know is the major scale is happy and that the minor scale is sad, mysterious, spooky, those kinds of adjectives. We talked about Gordon. All right, now here's a word we haven't discussed much yet. Timbre. Timbre is something like this. Timbre. Timbre refers to the tone color of music. Now, if I put my hands over my mouth, I'm talking the same way, but because I put my hands here, or because if I sing a pitch, if I go, I'm changing the timbre of the pitch because I'm using my hands. A composer chooses the instruments that he wants to play his music. The idea of a clarinet as opposed to an oboe, a French horn as opposed to a trombone. Having you sing a pitch as opposed to you singing a pitch. You can sing the same notes, but because you are physically two different people, it's going to sound a little different. Now, we can affect our voices.
Like I can talk to her like that. Yeah, I can tell you when the sound of my voice. I say, hello, boys and girls. How are you doing today? You doing good? Are we getting ready for the test?
Or I can talk to you like this. Listen, all you people, write all this down. Get this right at test. I'll kick you out of here. Upset me. So I'm affecting my voice physically. But I can also do my hands. I'm talking the same way. If I put my hands before there, if I put my hands here, if I do this, or if I take my hands and if I go, because sound, the sound waves, can physically be manipulated very easily. And you can all practice this tonight in the shower. Because I know half of you are. And Josh is already working it, so it's fun to do. But that's timbre. Some people say timbre, some people say timbre. Timbre. Excuse me. All right, what does improvisation mean? Very important in music. Improvisation. What do you think, Naya? Okay, I like the answer. Yeah, go.
So you come up with something off the top of your head.
Yeah. Yeah. At that moment, you're going to do something. In other words, if you were going to sing, if I were to ask, you'd be embarrassed. But if I asked one of you, give me a new version of Happy Birthday, could you do it? Probably wouldn't want to, but would you want to go like, Happy Birthday to you? I'm talking about the way I want to sing Happy Birthday. Oh, to you. Come on now. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Oh, yeah. Happy birthday to you, buddy. Could you do it? And if you did, That would be improvisation. Because I just, you know, now, I cheat because I'm a jazz musician. My whole life is improvisation. That's the best thing about it. And being an American, it is the American art form. Jazz music is our gift as a nation to the world. And around the world, jazz musicians and jazz music is looked upon as something that's just incredible. How do they do that? Well, we're free. We can express ourselves. The government is founded on the idea that First Amendment, say whatever you want to. So when I sing happy birthday, you don't get the usual happy birthday. And God forbid, you're at one of my gigs sometime and you say, hey, can you sing happy birthday to my wife? Oh, you just opened up a huge can of worms, because the first thing I say, what language would you like that? And what style? Would you like it in 13? And of course, then the people at that point, they're kind of like, no, I'm good. Because I usually say, punk Chinese. And they're all halfway out the door by then. Look at Waquan's there, and I'm like, really? Is that true? Yeah. And I forgot one thing. I say, you want it Mandarin or like Haquan? You know, which because there's like 114 dialects of Chinese. Right. Yeah. And the rest of the band picks it up. Oh man, we for like 4 or 5 seconds, like, yeah. Improvisation. There you go. All right, what's sacred music? What's that mean? God. Music about God. Secular music, music about? Love. Music about love. And those two types of music have been the basis from almost all Western music for over 1,000 years. Hands go up. Mr. Smith, what about songs about hate? Well, what's the opposite of love? No.
No.
I would say the opposite of love is apathy. Because I don't think you can hate someone unless you have an emotional attachment to someone. And I say that based on the fact that I unfortunately have 2 ex-wives. The second ex-wife I don't worry so much because she tried to kill me and I don't really think much about her. But the first wife, she's the mother of my 2 children. And for many years, I had a really hard time dealing with that. Because, you know, she left me, I raised my sons. You know, you don't need to hear all the bloody details, but the fact of the matter was is that as much as I disliked this woman, I still had tremendous feelings for her. And that's really hard to deal with. And I hope that none of you will ever have to go through that, but unfortunately, some of you will. And so the opposite of love is not hate. And I have a very, very close friend, and Chris told me that she was the first one who ever told me that the opposite of love is apathy. And like when she first said that, I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. She goes, no. She goes, believe it. Because she had gone through a divorce, and she, you know, was like one of my best friends. And I'm like, and she said, it'll take you 3 to 6 years before you can start to see that. I'm like, oh, great. Well, that's just great. So what do I do for 6 years? And she said, you try and let it go. Key word is try. So, bless you. So anyway, with that in mind, boy, there sure are a lot of secular songs. You know, like I'm going to key his cute little 4-wheel drive and, you know, slice his leather seats and carve my initials, you know. That's one of the great songs there. Right now, she's teaching him how to hit a combo, right? I love that. That's hysterical. Because I can't tell you how many times we'd be on stage in the band, right? And we'd be like, yeah, that guy's cheating right there. You can tell he's cheating. And that guy over there, he's a dog. Yeah. One of the fun things, you know, like we're up there, we're playing the music for this guy. He's cheating on his girlfriend. It's simple to see. Shooting there to teach her how to shoot a combo. Meanwhile, his girlfriend's out in the parking lot keying up his truck and smashing out the headlights and knifing the tires. Yeah. Been there and done that. Secular songs, ladies and gentlemen. Call and response. Hey, 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 hey.
Hey, hey, hey.
Hey, ma'am, hey, hey. Count up. Count up.
Countdown.
Exactly. You want to be in the Marines, you got to learn how to do that, man. Or if you're in the Baptist church, I said, Lord, come on to me.
Amen.
Lord, 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 let me hear you all out there today.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. Exactly. What is it? Call and response. It's part of human. There's nothing that people like around the world than being led in song where they can participate, where they can be part of it. They're not singing the melody. They don't have to really know anything. All they have to do is follow the leader. This idea of call and response is part of being alive. So whether you're in Central Africa or Central Asia or in Birmingham, Alabama, in a Southern Baptist church, the call and response is there. You could be at a heavy metal concert. Call and response. People love that. It makes you feel good. It makes you feel like you're part of something. It makes you feel alive in a positive way. How are we doing? YPGTTO. What the heck is that, Mr. Smith? It's something we listen to. It's short for the Young Person's Guide to the Orchestra. The YPGTTO. Now, why is that up there? Well, we listened to it in class. Your textbook talks about it. Why? Well, who wrote it? You need to know that. Anyone? Benjamin Britten. And why did he write it? Because he wanted to write a piece that would showcase the orchestra, the young people. And forgive me for saying it, you're young people. I asked you in class, how many of you have heard a symphony orchestra? Some of you raised your hands, most of you didn't. So, this piece of music introduced you to what? Strings, woodwinds, brass, percussion. And the textbook talks about what you should get out of it, what you should learn from that. That would be a test question. Clarinet's one of the woodwinds. All right, so when we get to the Renaissance, we talked about the Black Plague and how 40% of Europe died. Not a good time. And the Renaissance meant what? New birth, right? Mankind was going to try and do better. All of the different arts. It's the beginning of science. Sculpting, painting, writing, medicine, music. This idea of personal expression. The idea that the music now didn't just have to be for God. Music could be uplifting. Music could be something that will make people who hear the music feel better. It's also the beginning of this idea that people could now be musicians. If your little girl could sing really well, as a parent, you would encourage her. Because for the first time in her life, for the first time in history, because of the Renaissance, going into the Baroque, she could make a living because there's this new musical art form. What's it called? It's on the board. Opera. And what's the definition of an opera? 2 words come to mind. You go in these 2 words, you got it. Michael?
Play.
2 words. Go.
Drama and emotion.
Musical drama. That's what I'm looking for. A musical drama. After that, it's epic. It's huge. It's got scenery and costumes. It's got an orchestra. It's got chorus. It's huge. It's the biggest thing you've ever seen. But the definitive definition, it is a musical drama. And everyone's welcome. You guys can sit together. You can wear your Queen shirt. You can wear what you're wearing. You can wear whatever you want to wear. And in fact, if you know, you don't even have to take a shower. Just come on in. We're good. Well, bring your glasses so you can see it, because it's costumes. Lots of stuff. Big pointy teeth. Yeah. Exciting. It's like nothing that's ever happened before. Monstrous. And what do the singers, the fat lady sings the arias. The arias are the descriptive, emotional songs that the stars sing. The arias are the big pieces. These are the important pieces. And before everything happens, you get an overture. Overture is the thing that's played in the beginning while the ladies are still putting on their makeup. The orchestra will play the overture, and the overture gives you a little taste of all the different songs. You get like 16 measures of this, and you get 16 measures of that, you get a little of this, you get a little of that. The Who, a band called The Who, a lot of you probably never even heard of it. That's sad, but anyway, there's a band called The Who. In 1967, they did something that no one had ever done before. Pete Townsend, who was the guitar player and the leader of the band, wrote an opera. And the opera was called Tommy. It was about a deaf, dumb, and blind boy that played pinball. And he was a pinball wizard. It was a 2-album record, and it was a true opera. And the critics and the music scholars were absolutely stunned, because it's a true opera.